Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Paranormal Talk. Our first episode went over greatly, so we figured we'd come at you guys again with an episode 2. So tonight we kind of just wanted to talk about like some of our equipment and what we bring on these investigations and what everything's used for, just so, not everyone knows the ins and outs of ghost hunting and what you use exactly and what it might be used for, so we just kind of want to make it clear. We want to thank you guys for ending your weekend with us and just kind of, tuning in and listening. So before we get started with paranormal equipment, we do bring some things that aren't exactly paranormal equipment, maybe just kind of like, like toys and stuff that we, use to make sure that those things are actually happening and equipment's not just faulty or rigged. So first thing we'll talk about that we do bring and why we bring it is Scrabble letters. Sandwich baggie here. It's actually a dollar store purchase, and benefit of these works just like Scrabble. You spell out a word, you point to it. It said that if the spirit can see, it should be able to say the word. Obviously, don't spell a 16-letter insane word. You want to kind of spell something simple like the color blue or hello, and give it a point and see if they can, say the word, or pretty much tell us if they can see.
Yeah.
If you just say like, repeat orange, they could repeat orange, they might not be able to see what's actually being, written out. And if anyone has any questions, comments, feel free to put them in the comments section on why we might do something or how we do something. Something else we do bring that was actually the, incorrect style, was the ball. Pretty common on paranormal investigations, I'd say, where people, just kind of, hey, roll me the ball. But this one right here that we brought to the lighthouse is actually kind of thick and heavy. It's real foamy. It looked to me, and it probably wasn't visible on the camera, but it kind of looked like when we were asking it to roll the ball was shaking. So what we've actually been told to do is get a lighter ball, preferably styrofoam, because ghosts interact with static touch and styrofoam.
Yeah, it's just probably easier to move.
Yeah, lighter in weight and all that stuff. So we kind of want to, ask like yes or no questions, get a piece of paper on like a table or something, and roll the ball towards yes, roll the ball towards no. If there's any reason anybody could say, like, hey, you should probably, might want to not do that, or feel free to let us know. Just a kind of an idea I've had before.
We want to try to get the little tiny like styrofoam balls that you get at like the craft store.
Yeah, like a Hobby Lobby, Michael's, stuff like that. We didn't bring this one last time. This is another one we have brought in the past. Probably should have. Probably a little bit lighter to roll because it's just a lighter ball, rubber and air, where that one's kind of like a solid foam piece. But yeah, those are just some of the things that we bring that are not exactly a paranormal toy, so we're not, playing with static, or, we're sensing touch still, but not through an electronic device. Other things that we do bring, and we kind of plant these around the house. Oh, the pup's back. These are, what we do film in. Joe, thank you very much for that. That's going to be our... We'll have to get all that stuff before Iron Island. Another thing we do bring are, night vision cameras, full spectrum. Both these are a little bit different. This one, obviously on a tripod, something Serenity kind of walks around with and records to get evidence. And
sometimes we leave it set up somewhere just recording while we take a break too.
Yeah, and this actually has caught some really cool EVPs both times at the lighthouse that we've gone. The first time we were outside, I caught that woman. It sounded like, what are they doing? Remember that?
Yeah.
And that's all.
That was when we were walking away from the lighthouse.
Yeah. Yeah, they were kind of curious about us, just kind of going outside and drinking water, and it was really cool to honestly have that voice. Something that's not necessarily like the spirit box.
Yeah.
It must have been. We weren't in the house, but it must have been decently loud for microphone picking up.
Yeah.
That or they were just extremely close to it, I guess. Maybe. But
I wonder who they were talking to.
oh, man, there's so many people in that house. It's really just a wonder. Other one though, this is a little bit different. This is a smaller, more of a body cam. I usually wear this one on my chest once in a while. I didn't think I did during the Dunkirk Lighthouse video, but this one we do also like to just kind of keep around and see if we catch anything. Maybe we're looking this way, something happens that way.
Yeah.
And just kind of cover every angle of the room because you want to document as much as you can going on around you. It's hard to say everything, but yeah, no, these are a couple.
It's nice to get a couple different angles.
Yeah, both these cameras too do record in night vision, so when the camera's completely, when the lights are completely off wherever we are, and we stick these in the dark, we're getting everything that you're able to see in the dark. It's pretty straightforward on that one. And like I said, guys, any questions at all, please feel free to let us know in the comments. It's not here. All right. Cat ball, yeah. So, I know we bring an awful lot of balls with us on these investigations. Getting kind of into the paranormal toys here. This was actually one of our first pieces of equipment. It's, relatively cheap. Right? Yeah, the EMF and these are.
We actually got something to touch it one of the first nights we messed around with it in our house, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah, no, these things going off are they're going off right now because I just kind of set them up and put them on the table. But she bumps the table and I didn't actually set that one off. Usually, but this one right here, not really touching it at all, and it's not going off. But when you touch it, does that cool little disco light. So you've really got to be interacting with these to get them to go off. They
don't go off crazy often, but when they do, we're like, oh my god, yay!
Yeah,
they go off often.
It's the craziest feeling on earth because it just needs. I'm gonna try to tap it. Okay, yeah, I don't know if that must just be a weak shot. I think it looks something.
It's a little more vibrating.
Yeah. I'm trying to move it further. Bump myself. And we hope you guys are able to hear a little more clearly at home this week. We have a little bit of better microphone. Okay. But yeah, this one just must be really sensitive or something because every time I tap this table, it goes on. But yeah, no, these very rarely go off unless it's actual physical touch. Little on-off switch right here. Anytime you turn it on, it's gonna spike up. Same thing with that one. And these are very straightforward, just kind of. They're the most straightforward item, I think, but when these go off, like you said, it's the most
it's exciting because they don't always go off.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've only had it happen here that one time, and it was by the toy box, oddly enough, in the corner.
Of all places.
And then it just went off.
I didn't even touch the table.
I'm not even touching it either. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, no, we've done a little digging around here, and we've heard some things.
It's weird that it just went off. I swear I'm not
I
touching
didn't touch
the
table at all.
Lena's not touching it. I got her.
That was me. I touched the corner of the table and I pulled it off. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
As I'm talking about it, previously going off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I almost just want to leave them out. Well, I mean, the table's
When
strong.
you start touching stuff, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That one.
I know.
Do it again.
Here,
I'm getting excited.
we'll leave one right there.
Like I said, it's exciting when
It is.
when those
Yeah.
go off. 'Cause they, like I said, they don't. We had it go off like one time here in the corner. Something must have been hiding over there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dog was acting funny too.
Yeah.
With that night, so the
I don't know.
definitely.
She was like. I mean, she always refuses to leave our side, obviously, but that night especially, she was not leaving our side. She knows me tapping the table. I don't know what it's about. That's real weird. I don't know. This little guy right here, he's EMF reader used to pick up electromagnetic frequencies in the air, anomalies that. Yeah. We go to a phone with it, probably especially because we're live on Facebook right now. It's gonna spike. Internet makes these spike. Anything that really produces
like a wave of.
a big electrical charge will, you know.
That's why I like to like keep my phone away when like somewhere's on somewhere like using that or sitting with it.
Yeah.
I prefer not to have phones near it just because when a service, like you ever notice, like you'll get a text and that thing will go off.
Yeah.
It's from like the waves just coming through. It's crazy.
That gets into a whole scientific field I myself can't explain, but somewhat understand. So these, when we use them, I mean, obviously take them with a grain of salt. When they are working, though, what you want to look for is this meter going from red to or from going to green to holding to like a red, a orange, or a yellow. So that's, you know, something interacting with it. If it's just a quick little spike or something like that, it's, you know, that's probably not something you would say is paranormal.
Like I said, if you got a phone in your pocket too or something.
Yeah, your phone is constantly sending and receiving messages and data.
That's why if you're going to use one of those, I just recommend, you know,
take it with a grain of salt.
Have your cell phone at least like.
Yeah.
Or your like Wi-Fi box off too, because the Wi-Fi box sets that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Wi-Fi box especially. And in the Dunkirk Lighthouse, actually, they even warned us before going in there. The living room, they actually have their furnace that runs underneath the living room floor.
Yes.
So,
yeah, furnace was a concern monsters.
Yeah, our furnace too will make this. Like I said, anything that really like radiates a big electric charge that we've seen anyway.
I'd say you.
Me?
Just because you do good with the spirit box.
They tend to not like me though.
True.
They like.
I feel like. Yeah, I guess you're right, but I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like I might have like a strong connection, but it may not necessarily be a good connection. Her, they tend to. We've found. I mean, at least away from what we've seen, she kind of when she asks something, or any female on the kind of asks something, they kind of have responded better to you. You know, even though like I'm, you know, I do the Estes.
Like women are just less scary, maybe. You know, like less
could be
abrasive.
Maybe more so wanting to talk to a female, like more.
Could be a male.
Yeah.
You know, likes women.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's honestly a good question.
So both have moving techniques.
Yeah. With and without each other, so.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, very good question, Joe. Thank you. If you guys have any other questions, such as, feel free to ask them in the comment section, like we said. But anyway, yeah, when this is holding to a different color outside of green, that's something where you're kind of like willing to say this could be paranormal. Other than that, if it's just quick hits, quick spikes, stuff like that, more or less could be cell phone receiving data, electric. You know.
You just gotta be careful when you're using something like that.
Yeah, especially with where you're using it.
We used to like cut our power just to
not have, yeah.
just to not have like any like interference to debunk anything that would, you know, set it off.
Joe asked another question. Which one of us would be the first to run?
Oh.
Honestly, I'm, you know, not patting ourselves on the back too much here, but I feel like we're pretty brave when
both of us. That's
yeah,
really
like we're kind of calm, cool, and collected when we do this. We thinking neither one of us have ever had like so far an experience where it's like I need to get out of here.
Like I said, I would swing on a ghost if it came to it. If it came to it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not going to say we're fearless because there's definitely some stuff that would make us jump. I'd say.
Yeah.
But
like like if something ran at us, I guess that would be like a, like you stop in your tracks. But like I don't know if I'd run just because when I hear something, I want to be as quiet as possible. Like, what am I hearing? Like,
yeah.
Where is it coming from?
I mean, say there was like a fleshy apparition doing like a crab walk, like and it just beams at me. I'm probably running. Like that is a case where I will be the first one.
Try and kick it.
What's gonna go right through it, and that'll be the last you've seen of me, man. Like, yeah, no, anything like that. That's honestly.
Even if it was run worthy, I wouldn't want to run without you. Anyway.
Right, yeah.
I
feel like if you run, I'm gonna run. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like we would discuss that. You want to run? And then
right, yeah.
Let's go.
Get on to our next piece. I don't want to blow through this too quickly here, but it's going up. We'll do Spirit Box first. Yeah, that's a question for Joe at Paranormal Audience. Which of your Claire's senses are strongest? Brett, I'm sure if you ask Joe, he'll have a great answer for you and why. Me personally, I'm not sure what he'd say on that. But for our next piece of equipment we want to talk about, I'm sure everyone who has done one of these with us or watched one of our videos, well, our one video, knows what Spirit Box is, or at least it's
a lot of private videos.
Yeah, a lot of private videos, not so much the live videos. Oh, okay, sorry, Brett, go ahead. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Claire's senses are strongest. Could you, like you're saying, like one of our like sixth senses, or like kind of something that like, actually something while we're kind of on, I think this might be something along the lines which Brett's talking about in the question, but something that I've experienced while doing Estes method, it doesn't happen all the time, but once in a while I start to see like an apparition of like a person or like their face or something like that. I don't know if it's like, something from being like extremely channeled in, but just kind of something that I've noticed when doing the Estes method. And like I said, it doesn't happen all the time. Specifically, I remember at the Greystone Manor, our tour guide's name there was Heather. I want to say she's the owner, her and her husband. And it was weird. I saw a woman that like resembled her while I was doing one of the Estes methods in like an old Victorian style dress and like old Victorian style makeup. And I'm like, why would she be wearing those things? Well, come to find out, and maybe this is just a connection where I'm connecting dots that aren't actually there, but it was weird because the next day she actually told us the Roots were the original owners of that home back in 1800s, 1700s. I'd have to get exact years on that. But she said it was all her family members. And
there was like a lot of mediums in the family.
Yeah, and they were all mediums. And the way a lot of them talk in that house, they kind of use like, I forget what it's called, that one thing she had. It like circled the letter and it was like stuff. It wasn't a Ouija board, but maybe a pendulum, yeah. But she used those and the dowsing rods. And she really blew our minds with dowsing rods, honestly, because
honestly, the dowsing rods are cool.
Yeah, the dowsing rods were really nice. Just 2 pieces of copper. We don't have any ourselves. It would actually be really cool to get. They're not super expensive
They're
either.
not super expensive, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was pointing at who she gave, like, gave our names, and then she was like, which one, where's Joe, where's Sandy?
And
then it would point at who was who, and it was crazy. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was
that's cool.
That was my first time ever seeing dowsing rods used. I would definitely love to use them again. But anyway, yeah, just anything that you've really experienced on investigations that like maybe like you've seen or felt. Like,
You can't put me on the hospital.
sorry.
I'm like thinking of some like there's so much that happens on our investigations. So
Yeah.
I'm, like,
Yeah.
Thinking about, and then I'm thinking about the private ones we do as well that weren't like reported for other people to see.
Right. Yeah. Home investigations we do for friends and family, all that good stuff. Renee say.
I was gonna say Renee's house is pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's getting weird. I remember the like watching from the outside. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I remember feeling like somebody was watching, so then I peeked out the window.
Yeah.
I was like, whoops, gotta go.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. That was really weird.
Yeah, no. Using the spirit box, it's really cool because I mean, I like getting the voices compared to like Novelist, where it's just kind of like pre-programmed words, and it's set that like spirit like cycles through the dictionary, picks a word, and just kind of voices it out with like a voice similar to like what you get from like your GPS. Not to say that technology doesn't work. I don't know.
You get a more personalized idea of like what the person sounds like.
Yeah,
I guess with a spirit box versus like anything that like generates like GPS voices.
Mm-hmm.
Like like spirit box, you actually can hear whether it's a man or a woman or a child.
Yeah.
Or if like they're making certain noises and stuff like that, or like what tone it is. Or if they're yelling.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier to read the tone, I guess, through something that they can actually like more.
You hear the tone of voice. And,
yeah.
The instant reactions. Also really nice. Like I remember that one time on the investigation we got. It was a really dark voice, a real heavy, deep voice, and it goes, "I'm an 80-year-old woman named Martha." Okay, buddy. Like, keep telling yourself that.
Like it's definitely not an 80-year-old woman talking like that.
Yeah, no. I don't know if she ever would have talked like that at any point. Like, but yeah, no, that's just kind of something like I've personally encountered while doing Estes is getting visuals of more so faces and like apparitions. Not really. I guess I've never really gotten like into a room and I'm like I feel sick or like I can't be in this room. I've never come across that. And maybe like like you said before, we're relatively new, so maybe along the lines. Not to say I want to feel that, but back to technology. Spirit box is our next thing, like we were kind of just talking about now. Helps you like differentiate voices and gives you a very clear idea of who you're talking to.
Yeah, you could tell like if so it's not like just lying to you about like the Martha thing, like where it sounded like a grown man, not an old lady. So
the way that it works, imagine a jailbroken radio where you're kind of just flipping through static at I want to say it's like 100 miles per hour or something like that. It's kind of weird if you like now that like you've heard these things before. If you go in your car and turn on the radio.
That's
Something. Yeah, I have no idea. But if you like turn your radio real fast, it'll kind of like sound like how the spirit box does. More valuable to audio or I'd say video. I value.
I like audio, but like I want to see.
Yeah.
Like I want to see something.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm allowed like I like the video too.
Yeah. Audio, like EMFs are cool, and that's actually something we did get for the next investigation that we will be bringing. EMFs are fantastic, but I think we're kind of like both like really wanting to see it, because I mean, through Spirit Box especially, it could just be outside. You know, we've had that before where something I like to do during investigations that, you know, people are like, oh, I love this trick. So I'll actually like hold up like, you know, 3 fingers or something, and I'll say, if you can see me, how many fingers am I holding up? And you'll get, you know, 3 if they could actually see you, or something else if they're lying, or maybe it's hard for them to see.
Or maybe they can't count.
Yeah, they can't count. Yeah, but I remember the one time we actually had a window open, and after we closed the window, we like the curtain on the window, we stopped getting responses.
That wasn't the one here, was it?
It was here, yeah,
Okay.
and it was so we're like thinking like, was it just looking at us through the window? Which is extremely creepy to think
Because it
about.
said something about us closing like the window.
Yeah,
Like,
and it wanted us to open the window again.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it said something about the window.
Yeah, it said
And I
open.
was like, I just closed the curtain too, so
Yeah.
is that what it's talking about?
Yeah, so audio is awesome. EMF, honestly, like those are really cool compared to the spirit box. But both of us really like want to see something that. Oh no, you're completely fine, Jeff. Trust me, it happens to me all the time. But yeah, both of us kind of really want to see it, and I feel like seeing something and catching it like on camera.
I feel like because we've seen things before,
Yeah.
we want to see it again. Because like, you know, you're like, wait.
So did that really just happen?
Yeah, did I really see that? So
Yeah.
you're like wanting to see it again, just to like.
And man, when I'm watching like film back, I can't tell you how many times I'm like playing something back, and I'm like, oh man, what was that? Just like hoping, and it ends up being like, you know, like, oh, the window was open and a speck of dust flew. It was
Or someone walked by and the red hot there.
Yeah, yeah, and EMF. I mean, not to call them EMFs because like a lot of times we pick them up on cameras. And like when we're at the lighthouse, you were able to actually hear us coming like up and down the basement stairs. And we had this camera right. We had this camera right here upstairs, and you were able to hear us, you know, walking up and down the basement. So we really had to like differentiate, like, you know, what was us and what, you know, we thought could have been something paranormal or different from the normal. But yeah, no, the spirit box is very cool because you get more of an idea of who you're talking to, if they could actually see you, and after you actually establish connection, you want to see what it can do for you. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be like, hey, push the ball if you're actually with us, or, you know, like something to actually like physically touch is great. Like one of these cat balls, because if they touch the cat ball, you know,
Well,
that's.
you just touched it. It didn't do anything.
I know. Within the tiniest vibration earlier, it's just setting it completely off.
I know, right?
But
Favorite piece of equipment? What's your favorite piece of equipment? Honestly, I like the spirit box a lot because it makes it so you can actually, you know, hear things. That's why I'm excited to use the EVP too,
yeah,
to catch things that we don't usually catch, like right there and then. I do
Yeah.
like the spirit box though, also because, you know, you get to hear what they sound like and stuff, and that kind of personalized.
yeah, and that's kind of why, like, me too, I'm really happy we at least got. Right now, we don't have the EVP recorder that we want, but we have a EVP recorder that, you know, no noise cancellation, no anything like that. Because, like I said, the spirit box is really cool. I'm not gonna say I hate this, but like, it sucks that, like, you know, they could be outside and they could see you through a window and they're just like lying to you about like what they see. That's why it's kind of nice, you know, we got like the scrabbled letters. Like, hey, what does this say? Because if it's on a table flat, you know, right in front of you, you can't be through a window and see that. At least I think. And it's like, what's keeping you outside? Like, and I figured ghosts would be able to like phase through stuff.
Just like float through the wall.
They seem to ask. Which.
Well, I mean, we don't know what they're seeing.
Right.
I don't know what they're seeing in their timeline or wherever they are. If it looks different, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of why I'm just gonna skip ahead to the EVP recorder. This is the one we got, little purple guy. They're nice. You turn them on, and I'm a big fan of, like, you know, just knowing that it's actually in the room with you, which is a little bit of the downfall with the spirit box, where this is just going to kind of like, instead of like picking up anything that might be nearby, something like this, very simple. Just waiting for it to load up here. All right, on this one, I am now recording, and I'll be able to play back my voice. If we stay quiet, it said that anything we hear that isn't our voice is something that is right here talking into the device, as I would be. So I'll shut my trap for a few seconds and kind of show the people. And oh yeah, I'll turn it off. All right, so I'll be quiet and just kind of let this record. All right, so we stopped, and now we can play it back. Okay, there it goes. All right, on this one, I am now recording, and I'll be able to play back my voice. If we stay quiet, it said that anything we hear that isn't our voice is something that is right here talking into the device, as I would be. So I'll shut my trap for a few seconds and kind of show the people. Oh, yeah. I'm not expecting to hear anything, just so you guys get an idea of this. So we stopped, and now we can play it back. Alright, on this one, I am now recording, and I'll be able to. So as expected, we didn't get anything right now. We're not investigating. We're not, we're kind of just chilling in our house.
It's to pick up noises that you just can't, like, actually hear in real time.
Yeah, so, Spirit Box is great because it's, you hear what they sound like. If you get a voice through one of these, though, that means it's potentially, like, right next to you. And when you're looking for these, if you end up looking for one of these, do not buy one with noise cancellation. I searched for the better part of 3 hours looking for no noise cancellation. Yeah, Joe, actually, I think I did hear them say shop Paranormal Oddities right over on Transit in Depew. Great store, great people. Nothing but the best there, and great things to say about them. But anyways, yeah, no, we these are definitely cool, and we're really hoping that this, could potentially work out. We do want to get the Sony ST10, I believe it is, and yeah, we're hoping to get that in and bring that on investigations, because you want older technology when you're doing this. Like I said, most recorders now have noise cancellation, and it's bombing our field. Honestly, it's
yeah, you want to be able to hear the little noises.
As much unediting as you can get is from, what we've been told and what we've been taught. Hardcore, raw evidence that, something's actually here and talking with us, and you want to eliminate as much as possible. With that being said, I think my favorite piece of equipment, actually, before I get into that, because I'm jumping all over the place here. Sorry, the ADHD is something that we do with the Spirit Box too. These are, something that are cool to have. It's just a little speaker. You hook it up to the Spirit Box and it makes it louder. Otherwise, these things, they're not too loud. You really gotta it sucks because, I feel like every time, someone talks is when you get a response.
That's how it works. So.
Absolutely. But a couple things that we do use as well is to enhance the spirit box, I'd say right now, is just a little audio jack speaker, no Bluetooth, nothing, like we said, nothing too technologically advanced. This is just pretty much you hook it up, you turn the volume up and down, it gets louder, gets quieter. Now at Paranormal Oddities, there actually is this amazing spirit box enhancer that I really need to get, and all that static in between the spirit box, it's gone. It's completely gone, and once in a while you might get it's like radio cutting in. It'll usually be like the end of a Bon Jovi song, or anything like that. Um, yeah, so once in a while, especially on those things, you might hear that. But other than that, those things make the spirit box so much better, and probably going to be one of the next big pieces of equipment we end up getting that really do help and change the game. Because I mean, coincidences happen in this field. Once in a while, you might get a yes or a no, and maybe it was just part of a song or a radio advertisement, and it just happened to cut in while you were asking a question. And that's the unfortunate part. You kind of gotta delegate. Was this like an actual response, or was it just kind of a false reading, so to speak? And with that, I know every time. This, I will say, I think is my favorite piece of equipment, only for one reason. And it's only because, like we said, we want to see it for the most part. Like, we want to, like, see something that's, like, actually, like, there in front of us. It's the REM pod. And the reason I like it so much, this goes for the spirit box as well. We don't put temperature on any of our devices. We take temperature completely off. We live in Buffalo. Anytime we're doing an investigation, a 5 to 10 degree jump, that could be a bad gust of wind blowing through. And you don't, like we said, as little interference as possible when doing this type of stuff. Now, the REM pod I like, and I'm actually going to turn this on just to give people a visual representation. If you're listening on Spotify, sorry if this episode hasn't been the best for you. Hopefully you've gotten to at least learn something just from, us talking through here and all that stuff. But anyway, REM pod. You turn it on. I like to set it to max range, or else it's just very, you gotta be very close with it to interact. As close as she's getting, this thing is shooting off. Imagine a magnetic field around this. And if anything does anything to break that magnetic field, you hear that. The colors on it, I want to say that indicates closeness. If anybody in the comments knows, what the colors actually do represent, I'd love to know. I kind of just always gone by, the more pretty colors that are, going off, the closer something is to it. These things do also measure temperature. Some people keep the temperature on. We do not, like we said.
It's like a good way to let you know if it's like right in front of you.
Okay, that was my face. Yeah, and this, like I said, we've investigated our own house, and this has very rarely gone off, unfortunately.
That one time in our room for like a split second.
Yeah.
And we were unsure if it was due to the fan, but then we tried to turn the fan back on where it was, and it didn't do it again. So then we were like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Because like I said, we never get something actually physically touching our stuff here. It's usually, we've heard like, things over the spirit box or EMF has gone off.
Yeah.
It doesn't, not too often hear that something physically touches one of the physical more, equipment.
Yeah, and that's really like one of the main reasons why I feel like this is one of my favorite pieces of equipment, is because, if it's touching it, it's right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're a step closer to, hey, can you show yourself to me? I know you're here with me, and maybe it feels comfortable enough to show itself to you.
Sometimes they don't want to touch it because they don't know what it is. So
Yeah, yeah. There's also been speculation that like noises do kind of scare spirits, like stuff like music box and
beep booping, especially like.
yeah, yeah. Which I mean, I could imagine if I was alive in the 1800s, I go to touch this shiny red light and I'm like, what the hell was that? Like,
I mean, you probably think like it's something like an alien or something if you were that
yeah,
old and never heard of anything going beep boop beep boop beep like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And they're amazed that oh my god, they have cameras. Imagine what
Yeah,
this is to them. Like, but yeah, I'd say REM pod or EMF, kind of for the same reason. I want to know that it's actually in there with us. You know what I mean? Because spirit box, I love the spirit box. Don't get me wrong, but it could be yelling from the other room.
Yeah. I like the spirit box REM pod combo.
Absolutely.
I feel like you need kind of, if you want to use one, you should have the other, just
yeah.
in case, I guess. But it's like one without the other, like you said. They kind of have their own.
It was funny the way that this kind of like started out for us because it started with this. It started with one of these from Paranormal Oddities. Joe, he's awesome there. And this is literally how it started out with us, just being able to measure static. We would cut all the power and try to like generate responses just off this and cat balls. After that, we got the spirit box, and then we're at the REM pod. I want to say the EMF was our last piece of, paranormal technology that we'd really gotten into. Next one will be the spirit box enhancer. Really looking forward to that, honestly. Yeah, yeah. Even back to that thing because I love it so much. The one with the microphone, it actually transmits your the radio waves we would talk in to what they would on the other side. So yeah, that's just another cool. They understand you better. Cool little tidbit about that piece of equipment there. But yeah, no. If you guys have any other questions for us, feel free to ask in the comment section.
Or tell us what your first piece of equipment was.
Yeah.
And how it started all for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely interested in hearing your guys' stories and any advice that you guys advise that we get.
Any other equipment that you've heard, that might be worth checking out, or
Yeah.
Styrofoam balls, definitely one.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the paranormal gear is amazing, and I love it. And I guess I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't love it. But
how do you feel about Ouija boards?
Okay, so she just asked how I felt about Ouija boards and the REM pod went off, which was intense. I've never used a Ouija board personally.
You haven't?
No. I've been offered numerous times, never took anybody up on the offer. I was always offered when I was a kid, everybody else was going off into the cemetery to play with said instrument.
I made one out of cardboard and it worked.
Yeah.
So I don't mess with the things anymore, anything that looks like that. Remember when we went to that thrift store and literally accidentally one fell on my foot? I was looking around at some stuff and something fell on my foot and I was like, oh, what is that? And I picked it up and it was a Ouija board, like some older like style Ouija board. I was like, oh boy. I was like, should we bring this
from like Hasbro.
It had like a sun and moon on it. It was like old. I
don't
know.
No, something from like the 80s.
Maybe it was Hasbro from like a long time ago, but it doesn't look like your typical Ouija board does nowadays. It looked older. And so I was almost like, ooh. But then I was like, yeah, we shouldn't bring a Ouija board.
Yeah, no, especially a used Ouija board, respectfully. If we are going to bring one home, it'd probably be a new one. Am I open to using them? In the right setting, with the right people. Joe from Paranormal Oddities. If you ever wanted to show me, I would be down, but you're one of the very only people I would ever even contemplate it with. Just saying.
God, why is he always got a top hat? That's so creepy.
Shadow Man?
Yeah, Kathleen said he was tall, dark silhouette. She couldn't tell if it was facing her or the corner. Tall and skinny, wore a top hat, and had scraggly shoulder-length hair. I've been scared so bad at my mom's before that it took me a while to sleep in the dark again, like without a lamp in the corner, just because like if I see something in the dark, I want to see it. So if the light's on, I can see you. You know, you're not gonna hide in the corner on me.
Man, if he wants to let you see him, that's the whole thing. They gotta like want to make themselves visible, and you'll always be poised when you're doing stuff like this, just because if they think it's probably funny to them if they think they're scaring you or they know they're scaring you.
I know we love hearing experiences too, like
Yeah.
from people, like because it's nice to know you're not alone and that it too has happened to other people. I've met people who don't think that stuff's real, and I question, well, they must have never had like an experience to think that,
Right.
because
And I always wonder, like, why don't ghosts like you? Like,
I know. I'm like, how the heck have you never had like anything weird or suspicious happen to you that you think it could be real?
Yeah.
I've met people that are just like, oh, I don't believe in that, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I'll believe anybody until you give me a reason to not believe you. Like, if you're telling me like some like, oh, it made me levitate. I mean, maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example. But but just keep it real when you're telling us stuff, because we'll always respect, even if you go to a haunted location and you get nothing.
And that's the thing, is some people are like, oh, until it happens to them, and then they're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
That's quite possible. So
I'd love to do one of these things with someone who's like a skeptic, because I mean, like me and you, like we believe, but we also debunk ourselves when we think, you're in a paranormal investigation, like at first, you think you want to think like, was that paranormal?
Not every little noise or thing you hear is going to be paranormal. There could be an explanation.
Yeah, it could be a raccoon on the wall. Could be.
Yeah, you want to like debunk yourself and be logical with things.
Yeah, no, I would love to do something like this with someone who's super skeptical, like not even to
I don't know if like I said, I've met skeptics.
Yeah.
But like personally, people I know, like on a personal level, I don't.
Everyone that like either they're like, yeah, you should like have me come with you to do this, or they're like, you're insane. Why would you want to do that? Like there's very seldom that I meet that are like, you're talking to nothing, dude. Like it's like they believe, but they don't want to like go do it because maybe phasmophobia is a real thing. The unruly fear of the dead. That bell's cool. Yeah, no, definitely something that we'd like to get. It is pretty cool, especially like when you get a ding twice. Yeah, it's good too. Honestly, I wonder if like.
I almost just wonder if having a regular bell.
I was just gonna say
because
that.
I would almost want to test just a regular like ding, a regular actual like restaurant bell that it's not hooked up to any electrical reading thing. Like I almost would rather just have the bell and like see if they can physically touch it, like how this is.
Yeah,
like something you have to actually physically touch, because like it takes probably less physicalness to touch this, a little more physicalness to touch this, and then probably more physicalness to touch a bell like that.
Yeah,
so
actually,
like it would kind of give you a level of how strong is it, maybe.
Yeah, to actually have like the energy to like push something, opposed to like just kind of breaking the field.
Yeah.
Or
So I almost think I would like just like a regular ding.
Yeah.
Just to see if it would go off ever, like without the electrical, like like that.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that the dead bell measured like electricity until we recently used it at Brett's house. Actually, I didn't know that. I thought it was like an actual like little bell that was, like we said, a little restaurant bell.
It's your beer, I'm telling you.
All right, I'm gonna shut this thing off right now. Sorry guys, it's gonna sound like R2D2 for a minute. So, God, I love this thing.
Our 6-year-old likes to mess with us and tell us there's a little boy in the bathroom the one day.
Yeah, that was the one day, and I was. It's funny.
I don't know. That's why, like I believe what you saw, Kathleen, was real. Our kid be messing with us.
Yeah, no,
He'd be messing with us. So sometimes I'm like, if he really sees something, am I gonna believe him now because he's like messing with us
I
so
think
much.
his genuine reaction if he actually seen something would be like, "Oh my God, Dad!" Like,
He's pretty brave, so like.
yeah. That one day when it was funny. I was sitting here on the couch and he goes, "Dad, the Shadow Man can see you," and I was like, oh, "Really? Where is he?" And the look on his face, he was like, "Wait, you're not scared?" He's like, no, he's a hoot.
Yeah, he tries to mess with us. And I'm like, the one day you're like, oh, we talk to ghosts, so. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't.
Yeah, he was like, he's trying to like scare me with, you know, the.
It's the wind, you goofball.
Oh, okay. And Brett, honestly, that's why, and I'm sponsoring, Paranormal Oddities a lot, and I don't mind that at all because great people. Anytime I need, think of buying something, Joe is the first man I talk to. He goes, no matter what, because that
He's been
man.
in this field for a long time.
Yeah, honestly, and can't say I would have as much education as I do. Not to say it's a lot, but in this, what we do here, as I would without him, would really owe a lot. A lot of money saved to that man. Because honestly,
He definitely points you in the right direction when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
He's not trying to, mess around and waste your time.
From day one, he's always done very good business with me, and that's something I really appreciate. That is just honest and truth, man.
Yeah, that's kind of the field. That's the name of the field. You don't want to be fake and dishonest because then people take this field as, like something phony, and that's why there's people that probably don't believe in that kind of thing.
Yeah. Faking anything and lying about stuff just kind of, we're having a hard enough time with people that don't believe. Please don't give them ammo. But yeah, no, and
definitely recommend Joe at Paranormal Oddities.
Yeah, for anything, he'll set you straight, man. When I first went there, I was considering buying an Oculus.
He's got cool stuff in his store too to look at.
Oh, absolutely. If you ever just go in there to shop around and want to know something about whichever, really.
There's a lot of different things in there for a lot of different, a lot of different folk that want different things.
Yeah, no, definitely. And even if you're into the more Ouija boards and witchcraft and stuff like that, a lot of stuff there.
He's got stuff that caters to that too.
Yeah. Paranormal Pup had to splash in. She gets curious. We had the whole table set up.
God, she sees us talking to.
Yeah, and she's like,
nothing. I guess she has to.
Yeah, she's like, I'm here too, guys. But with all that being said, we wanted to announce our next location tonight. After Iron Island, of course. We are doing Iron Island still next Sunday, 8 o'clock. We're going live on Facebook again. We want everyone to be there. We want to make it interactive just like we did at the Lighthouse, where you guys are helping us ask questions. We got our EVP reader this time.
Let us know if you hear anything, see anything, comment, let us know. If anything cuts out, let me know, because the last time we did a live, we rewatched the live, and there was parts that were cut out. There was no video, but there was audio. And we don't know why, because when I was recording on the live right there and then, there was no issues happening over the phone, no issues with the camera, or any of that, so.
We actually ended up finding from Joe at Paranormal Oddities that, they show themselves and it comes up on a camera as pixelation, so like I said, I don't know if you saw the video of what we think is a little girl standing next to a piano in a Victorian dress at the Lighthouse. It's on all of our social media pages. What we started doing was we would see blockiness and you pretty much just freeze frame, pause, unpause, pause, unpause, and really just study the area, because
there was the one on the Lighthouse steps that looked like somebody standing, walking down. That was crazy.
REM pod went off shortly, and the craziest part of that video was too when you heard it walk down the steps, you heard
the creaking of the steps.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't. It was crazy because in that moment we didn't hear anything. When we watched it back, it was.
Yeah, weird things like that weren't, caught while I was recording when it happened when we were rewatching it. It was weird.
Last but not least, too, for technology, these are just basic Turtle Beach sound canceling headphones, plugged right into the spirit box, with, auxiliary jack, and
They were $12 on Amazon.
yep,
I got them a long time ago.
yep. You put them on, and all you hear is the spirit box away, and
they're pretty cushioned too, so it keeps other sounds.
And as the receiver, same deal as just kind of when you're doing Estes with those anyway. You want to differentiate what was radio. You want to really listen for the voices underneath the static, and hopefully, when she's asking questions, what I'm firing back is making sense, and it's said that you're having a conversation using the person that's under as a vessel.
So essentially, like they're using you like a human spirit box.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a way to like.
And that's called the Estes method.
And then like when it's enclosed over your ears, you're probably able to hear, I'm sure, more.
Yeah, it's a lot of like channeling. It's almost like meditating where you just really want to like focus on breathing and like just kind of like what you hear underneath that radio static.
Like hypnosis, but like.
Yeah.
In a.
Like a non-trance way.
Yeah, something like that, like in a trance.
That's why I compare it to meditating, because when you meditate, you really just want to like, just your breathing, nothing else.
I believe that because we've definitely gotten some of our batteries drained.
Oh yeah, no, we actually during the lighthouse we felt like my phone died, REM pod died, and a camera died, like all at the same time while I was in Estes. So they had to have been like, I don't want to say had to have been, but could have been working on, our batteries to. And I don't think it's something they're like doing on purpose, like, ooh, I'm gonna drain your battery to. I don't think it's something they're doing on purpose, but
I think their energy just naturally affects
other
energies.
And if they want to communicate and we want to communicate, they need energy. Like, do you want to talk to someone when you have no energy?
Yeah.
But anything else? Any other questions for us, guys? Please feel free to shoot them off. Yeah, Brett, I've never used the Ovilus, and not to say I wouldn't be open to using one. It's, too rich for my blood right now, so to speak, where it's, it is a pretty penny. And, yeah, no, you could probably get something on there. I'm not, not to say I doubt it at all, but no, it is a lot of money for what it is. And, anything that's like we said, you want as little like interference as you could possibly be. And like the day and age of like AI and your phone's always listening to you and spitting out a response and Google and Siri and I just find that the old school technology, usually from like the 90s, 2000s, and we have stuff that's still currently being made that is amazing technology, like the REM pod. I want to say that's a little newer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Anything like that where it's just automated responses, like Alice Box is another one. I actually haven't talked to Joe about that, but I don't feel like, yes or no questions through an Alice Box are really, like I said, in a day of age of technology, when technology is always listening to you, and
it's best to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, that's why. Spirit Box is pretty much just jailbroken radio that's flipping through stations 100 miles per second, and it's really cool, really solid device that honestly a lot of people have been using for years now.
I'm saying EVP has been like a hero of this field, I'm sure, for a while.
Yeah, kind of hearing what's immediately near you. Stuff like that. But without further ado, I think it's time to reveal our next location. We want to get a little drum roll going, please. I hope you guys can see the TV better than what was on our last one. Slowing it now, we are going to Wildwood Sanitarium, and this one's going to run a little differently from what we've been doing. I kind of want to do multiple lives throughout the night just because it's a huge house, and we've got it until 10 a.m. Like, literally, we've got it from, I want to say we can get there as early as 7 at night until 10 a.m. the next morning, so I kind of want to sleep there. I don't know if that's like an option. Do like a little live maybe the following day, what we experienced staying our night there. Um, really looking forward to it. A location we've been wanting to do for a long time. But yeah, hopefully everybody can make it. We are still doing Iron Island next week, which I will take to that picture right now. We will be there next week. Live's going out at 8 p.m. Very much so looking forward to all of you guys being there and participating. And
Yes, I used to go to Salamanca a lot as a kid, and one of my aunts lived down the road, and my grandmother lived in the area too, and I never knew it was like right down the road from them that close, so I'm excited to go and excited to check it out.
Yeah, Salamanca in general is just there's a lot of energy, like, and it's just very, like, you just kind of feel stuff throughout the whole area, honestly.
From much water that just goes through it.
Yeah, so we're very excited. We want everyone there next week at 8. Wildwood will be October 12th.
I know we can sleep there, it's just, what's the quality of what we're sleeping on?
Right.
That's the thing.
Maybe bring an air mattress,
That's what I mean. I'm like, is it going to be some old, like, some Allegheny style cots or something, you know?
And this is a location we've never been to, so we're gonna want a little bit of a tour, a little bit of detail.
Yeah. Of course.
And like we said, equipment died pretty quickly last time, so
I'm hoping there's somewhere to plug some stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because that, like, maybe we could have one just plugged in and switch it out or something, just because, like, we ran out of battery relatively quick at the Lighthouse.
Yeah, but I think one of the best strategies to do, doctor up the lines a little bit. Like we'll start at 9, we'll go until stuff's getting low. And we'll be like, all right, guys, we'll charge back up and see you in a minute. So, that's for us to decide. But yeah, if anybody has any cool pieces of advice on this location or things that they've experienced there, definitely feel free to put it.
Or if you know anyone who's went there before, let us know your experiences.
Yep.
Like, we want to know what we're going into here.
Yeah. And like we said, we are going to be at Iron Island next week, Sunday, September 28th. We're going live at 8. And really want everyone to be there. Same deal as last time, interactive. We're going to be asking questions that you ask in the comments section.
Let me know if you see anything.
Yep, let us know if you see anything. If stuff starts getting blocky on the phone, please let us know, because, that's just stuff we want to document and keep track of. And we've heard it's extremely active there. And
yes,
we're really looking forward to it. So that's going to be next week, September 28th, 8 p.m. at Iron Island. And our next big event is going to be at Wildwood Sanitarium. Again, this will be posted all over our social medias, and we will send out reminders and invites and all that good stuff like we have in the past.
Hopefully we get something.
Yep, we're really hoping to. And I don't know,
And I like the old house deal. I like looking out the windows and just picturing, like, imagining somebody else standing there, like, 100 years ago or something.
What they would have seen.
Yeah, I'm like, what did they see out this window?
Right.
How was it? Was it a nice view back then, too?
Right.
Did they enjoy this view just as much as I did?
Yeah.
The Greystone Manor was really beautiful. I liked the front room upstairs, the front bedroom, that apparently you see, like, if you sleep there, sometimes you'll wake up and there'll be a woman kind of just standing around your bed.
Yeah.
That was a nice view. I was like, yeah, I could see that, because I'm like, I would stand here all day if I was a ghost,
Oh, yeah. Just
window, the view, it was
watching
beautiful.
over the land.
Yeah, I was like, I would too.
But anything else?
Some of our stuff doesn't take batteries.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Some of our stuff needs to be actually charged and not just batteries. That's
we're going live on Facebook, so our main camera is the phone camera. And if that dies, I mean, it's not like back in the day where, you could pop a battery out and just put the other one back. Now I'd have to, like, take apart the entire phone. I'm better off letting it charge because by the end of the night I wouldn't have a phone. If you could even do that.
It's on my list of places to investigate.
Yeah.
It was on our list too, so hopefully we get something good. Hinsdale House is also on our list of places we want to investigate.
Yeah, and we're thinking, I know we talked about public investigations, but we're kind of bringing people in, and we're thinking about doing that in 2026, a little bit after the holidays, kinds of.
Wintertime's got a blow past too, because,
I don't want anybody to pay for a ticket and they couldn't make it. And
the weather, because you know how New York weather is.
Yeah, if we can get, like, a good location, there's tons in, like, the Buffalo area where, we don't, people might not have to drive, like, an hour out. If we can manage to get something like that for you guys, we'll be sure to post about it and book it, sell tickets, however you guys want to run it. But, yeah, no, we're thinking 2026 for public investigations for you guys, unless, we'll keep you guys posted. And Iron Island next week, Wildwood the week after.
Also, the Lackawanna Library is doing
tours. Yes, Lackawanna Public Library is doing ghost tours. We've lightly posted about them on social media as well. Very cool experience. I grew up out there. And
we want to get our sticky fingers on it, but they were...
Yeah,
they were a little hesitant.
Yeah, I guess, they've been stiffed in the past, but hopefully we can get them to let us prowl around in there. And if you guys ever get a chance to go there, it's a public library. It's free to go in. They have an awesome museum in the basement about the history of the entire city. And I grew up there and I learned things I didn't even know about Lackawanna. And
yeah, it used to be West Seneca.
Yep.
All of it just used to be West Seneca. And then before that, like, we went into, like, some farther maps. West Seneca wasn't even there and it all just used to be Hamburg.
Right.
And then they must have, like, split it up and we're like, oh, we gotta give this area a different name or something. And then it turned into West Seneca. Yep. And then it turned into Lackawanna. And
something notable that, might be the reason it's so active. The Lackawanna Library was actually built on what used to be a cemetery and had 5,000 to 10,000 bodies, I want to say they said in there.
It looked horrible, the cemetery did. It
Shallow
wasn't
graves.
Like when we say cemetery, we're not talking like everyone got their own headstone and their own 6 foot, by 3 foot little square.
Yeah.
Like, this looked like people were just throwing bodies.
Yeah.
And, like, there was just people dropping and they were just throwing bodies in this dirt pit and just throwing dirt over it, and it wasn't like flattened or anything. It just looked like a war zone. It was crazy. It probably smelled bad.
And to get the library, Andrew Carnegie, I want to say, funded it, the steel millionaire. He actually said, yeah, I'll fund the library, but you got to find the place to put the library. So what they decided to do was they took all those bodies, they cremated them, and now they're in a vault somewhere in the library.
Mausoleum?
Yeah, like in the library, I want to say they said.
I thought you said that some were taken to a mausoleum.
Very well could have been.
Somewhere else. And it's just crazy that they dug up all those bodies after they had been already buried and then cremated them. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have been the guy that did that job.
Not at all.
At all.
Not one bit. But that pretty much wraps it up for us, right?
Yeah. We got one more. We thought about doing the worship on Canal Side. I think they were only limiting us to like one room. One room.
Yeah, and it's like $100 for the night,
and we were kind of like, we want to like venture a little bit on different parts of the ship, but they were kind of adamant about staying in one area of the ship
and a bathroom or something like
just
that.
one room with a bathroom area to like access, and that was it. So we were kind of like, like we want to kind of like explore and investigate other areas of the ship, not just this one area. But so that had been talked about, before. But
other than that, I think we're all set, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on Spotify, sorry if this one wasn't the most entertaining for you. Hopefully you learned something about our equipment just listening. But we do appreciate you guys coming out and interacting with us, talking to us, and we really hope to see you next week at 8. We will be at, like we said, I'm going to pull it up one more time here.
We'll be at Iron Island.
Yep, and I'm so proud of myself doing the artwork. Again, Joe taught me how to do this. Paranormal Oddities. Great people. Highly suggested. And with that being said, we are going to sign off here, guys. Thank you. Have a good night, and remember to keep it real.
Join us next week.
Thank you.